A single neuron fires. Then another. Then 10,000. Then 10 million, a silent electrical storm rippling through 3 pounds of soft tissue folded inside your skull. Right now. In this very second. Roughly 86 billion neurons are exchanging signals at speeds approaching 270 miles per hour. Weaving a web of activity so dense that the total number of possible neural connections exceeds the number of atoms in the observable universe. And somewhere in that blinding cascade of chemistry and electricity you appear. Not your body, not your reflexes. You. The feeling of being alive. The redness of red. The ache of a memory. The weight of a choice you haven't yet made. Science can photograph a black hole 5 billion light-years away. It can sequence the 3 billion letters of your DNA. It can model the first trillionth of a second after the Big Bang. But it cannot explain how a lump of matter becomes a mind. This is the consciousness conundrum, and after centuries of philosophy and decades of neuroscience, it remains the deepest mystery we have ever faced. Welcome to Episode 6 of Science's Greatest Mysteries. Right now, as you read these words, roughly 86 billion neurons in your skull are firing in precise orchestration, and somehow, impossibly, that electrochemical storm becomes you. Welcome to the deepest unsolved puzzle in all of science. The mystery of consciousness. This is Episode 6 of our 7-part series, Science's Greatest Mysteries, exploring what science knows and what it still cannot explain. If you've followed us from dark matter to the origin of life, you know we save the hardest questions for last. This one may be the hardest of all. In this episode, we journey inside the human brain to confront what philosopher David Chalmers famously called the hard problem of consciousness. Why does subjective experience exist at all? Why aren't we simply biological robots processing inputs and outputs in the dark, with no inner light of awareness? The human brain consumes about 20% of the body's energy despite being only 2% of its mass, yet no one can pinpoint where consciousness lives within it. Neuroscientist Giulio Tononi's integrated information theory, IIT, proposes that consciousness corresponds to a mathematical quantity called phi, measuring how much a system is more than the sum of its parts. Here are the key facts. The human brain has approximately 86 billion neurons forming an estimated 100 trillion synaptic connections. Yet no specific region or network has been identified as the singular seat of consciousness. Philosopher David Chalmers coined the hard problem of consciousness in 1995, distinguishing subjective experience from the easy problems of explaining cognitive functions and behavior. Giulio Tononi's integrated information theory assigns a value called phi to any system, proposing that consciousness is identical to integrated information, a quantity that is extraordinarily difficult to compute for complex systems like the brain. Roger Sperry's Nobel Prize-winning split brain experiments showed that cutting the corpus callosum could produce two apparently independent conscious agents within one skull, challenging assumptions about the unity of awareness. If this video made you see the world a little differently, please subscribe and click the bell. New wonders arrive every week. We'll see you in the next one.